Welcome, dear friends. Today's topic is IELTS reading part, and we will detailedly understand and detailedly learn what is IELTS reading section. The IELTS exam is one of the most popular exams used to measure English language proficiency worldwide, and the reading section is one of its most challenging components in this podcast. We will share with you everything you need to know about the reading section, as well as how to better understand the reading passage by using the correct techniques. Of course, the IELTS reading section is one of the most difficult parts of the exam and can be a major challenge for many test takers. The main goal of this section is to read, to understand, comprehend, you can say, and answer the questions correctly based on a set given of tasks and within a specified time limit. It is the most important part. Be careful, my friends. You have a specified time limit. This section includes 3 different types of text: newspapers, maybe a newspaper magazine, articles, academic tests, and general interest topics. The length of complexity of each text can vary, and in order to be successful on the exam, candidates need to have a strong reading comprehension skill set. Let's go. Firstly, when preparing for the IELTS reading section, you should focus on improving your reading speed and comprehension skills. That is the most important part. Be careful. This can be achieved by using various sources such as newspaper or magazine articles, academic articles, as I said before, English novels. Additionally, try to learn new words from the text you read in order to expand your vocabulary. So, to be successful on the exam, it is also important to develop time management skills. Try to use the allocated time for each text effectively and plan your time wisely. Additionally, it is important to learn about the different question types that may appear on the exam and how to answer them. It is really important, my friends. The question types that you may encounter in the IELTS reading section includes multiple choice questions, matching questions, or maybe true-false questions, open-ended questions, and others. Develop strategies for each question type and practice for any type of question that you may encounter on the exam. Lastly, when preparing for the IELTS reading section, try to learn techniques for managing exam stress. When feeling stress, use techniques such as deep breathing and meditation to relax yourself. This is crucial for being successful on the exam. Did you get it? Yes. Although the IELTS reading section can be challenging, with sufficient preparation or maybe and practice, it is possible to succeed. Use sources, develop strategies, learn stress management techniques to achieve success. So, let's do the second part, my friends. What is the common mistakes or common challenges in IELTS reading task? Of course, IELTS reading section is one of the longest section in entire exam in comparison with writing section. Writing is a bit easier than maybe reading section because writing is up to you. However, reading is not up to you. Reading is totally related to examiners or the council. Candidates are given 60 minutes to answer for 40 questions. It means that you have maximum 13 minutes for each section and you have 3 sections. It means for one paragraph to read, you have maybe maximum 8 minutes, my friends. In 8 minutes, you should finish your passage, and then in 5 minutes maximum, you should read and give an answer for each questions in this section. So it is a little bit challenging. It means without techniques, actually not with techniques, it is really difficult to do it. It means you need to do practicing. So, these 40 questions are based on 3 different texts, and each of which can be approximately 700 or 800 words long. The first step in preparing for the IELTS reading section is to improve your reading speed. Let's go. And comprehension skills. A good reading skills can help you to achieve your score or overcome your stress, and can help you to answer more questions and complete the exam in time. To improve your reading skills, you can take various online tests to measure your reading ability. To increase your reading speed, also practice reading regularly and try to expand your vocabulary based on the subject matter of the text you read. This can help you to understand challenging words and terms that may appear on the exam. Okay? The second step. What is the second step? To develop your time management skills. The IELTS reading section is a time-sensitive section with only 20 minutes allocated for each text. Just it is the sentence of the council. However, just 13 minutes allocated for each text because you should save your time to come back and to read, to check again. A certain amount of time is recommended for each question type, such as 1.5 minutes for multiple choice questions, or 2 to 3 minutes for matching questions and 1 minute for true-false questions. It sounds crazy. To use your time effectively during the exam, it is important to quickly scan the text and allocate time to identify important sections, and also careful to mark your answers correctly to avoid wasting time. The third step is to develop strategies for different types of questions you may encounter within on the exam, or maybe each section includes multiple choice, open-ended, matching, true, false, fill in the blank, and other question types, or find the headline questions. So each one requires a different strategy. So without strategy, it is impossible to do this task. Okay, you can find different techniques, tactics for speaking part or listening part or the other tasks, but reading is challenging. So reading parts can't be done with techniques, tactics, or the other bizarre words, the other bizarre activities, without knowing this vocabulary, without understanding the paragraph, without understanding the question, or without getting the whole page. It is impossible to understand. That's all, dear friends. So, of course, by using available resources correctly and applying the correct reading techniques to understand the reading passages, you can be successful in the IELTS reading section. Okay, no worries, you can be successful, but it is important to adopt a disciplined and systematic strategy, study methods, and practice regularly. And have confidence in yourself during the learning process to achieve your success. Just 3 times in a week and 3 months or 6 months courses, and then we promise you, you will get IELTS Band 9. Yeah, you will get Band 9. Sure. I know, I guarantee you can get. Who knows, maybe. If you can get, please tell me your secret, so maybe I will get another Band 9, like you. And let's go. One of the biggest mistake I can say students make at the beginning is not being adequately prepared for the time management. Dear friends, students often can't use the allocated time correctly and can't allocate enough time to the last questions. To solve this, students need to develop a time management strategy before the exam. It can't be done 1 week earlier or 3 months earlier, because each day, if you do a test, if you do one test, maybe you will have 90 test practice. It is impossible to do it with 90 tests. If you aim 6.57, okay, no worries, but not more than 7, because more than 7, but if you want, you need to read more text, you need to develop your skills, your knowledge, you need to go into deep. So, to solve this problem, you need to develop time management strategy before the exam. This strategy should give students an idea of how much time they need to spend on each question. For example, you can set a strategy to prioritize easier questions instead of spending too much time on difficult ones. Another important mistake is trying to understand the entire reading passage. In this section, you only need to find specific information for each passage. It sounds crazy. Not try to understand all of them. If you can't understand this passage, what you're doing on this exam? Students often waste time trying to read the entire passage and you cannot focus on the right points to find the answers. Because the examiners or the council are not stupid. They know what you want to do, or what kind of techniques, tactics, tricks you want to do. So they design everything, they shape everything, they do everything related to this situation. Another common mistake that I told you, try to understand, or if you don't know the exact meaning of the words, not try to understand the passage. First, try to understand the word regards to the meaning of the sentence or this section. Try to understand the actual meaning of this word. Sometimes it can be challenging, I know, but if they use only one word, and if you don't know this word in the context, if you can predict, if you can fabricate, just look at the sections, questions. Maybe they will repeat a synonym, antonym, or maybe paraphrase the version or just definition, because they have specific active passive vocabulary bank to create this exam. So in the test, you can absolutely find another definition. So finally, another mistake, maybe I can say finally, students trying to determine the answers quickly. This leads to students giving answers without reading or understanding them correctly. To prevent this mistake, students need to carefully read the question first, then do research to find the correct answer in the passage. Get it? So, let's finish it. How can we evaluate this exam? After understanding the common mistakes, it is important for students to know that they can be successful in the IELTS reading section by studying properly and setting a good time management strategy. Remember that adopting the right study method, practicing regularly, and having confidence in yourself during the learning process are important factors on the road to success. So, the IELTS reading section is designed to measure students' overall reading skills. Therefore, students' reading speed, vocabulary, comprehension skills, and ability to use various reading strategies are evaluated in the exam. The scoring of the exam based on the number of correct answers given by students. Each correct answer is worth 1 point. Wrong answers are given for any answer that is outside answer key. Therefore, it's better strategy to leave unknown question blank instead of giving wrong answers. Finally, I told you, wrong answers are given for any answers that is outside the answer key. Okay? And therefore, it's better strategy to leave unknown the questions blank instead of giving wrong answers. I should repeat this section 2 times. Okay, another criterion that students need to pay attention to when evaluating the exam is giving their answers in correct format and manner. Some questions may ask students to write their answers, while others may ask students to find the correct word or word groups. So, another important factor that students need to consider when giving correct answer is time management. There are there were a total of 40 questions on the exam for 60 minutes, and students are given 60 minutes to complete them. Therefore, allocating approximately 1 and 1.5 minutes for each question. It sounds again crazy. Therefore, allocating approximately 1.5 minutes for each question is a good strategy. But it's not my opinion, it is just council's opinion. Because 1.5 minutes for each question is just tricky. It's too much. Finally, it's important for students to improve their reading skills in order to achieve the highest score in the exam, especially expanding their vocabulary. Using different reading strategies and managing time correctly will help them succeed in the exam. And so, let's finish. We can also share sample questions as a teachers and solution in this regard, showing students how to find the correct answers and present them in the correct format, helping them to perform better in the exam. Additionally, and finally as well, we can help students avoid the most common mistakes in the exam by explaining these mistakes with examples, dear friends. So, today we finish our podcast series and we did for IELTS reading sections in Turkish and in English. You can follow us. You can subscribe us on Spotify, Anchor.com, Anchor.fm, and the other podcast platforms such as Google, Amazon, Apple, and so on. You can find everything. And please not forget to subscribe our channel on YouTube and watch our videos, because coming soon I will record a video for you for reading sections, listening sections, and each section, especially writing exam, writing part, with using the real answers and the real answers corrections with their scores. Without corrections, what was the score, and with corrections, how can evaluate their score from band 8.5 to 9, or from band 6 from band to how can I make it, or how you can improve your writing skills to band 8 or more. You will see from our videos. So for today, thank you for listening to our podcast. Good night and see you soon.